This is Teaching to the Test Pattern.
Hey, buddy, welcome to Teaching to the Test Pattern. This is part 3 of my conversation with Scott Holt from Scott City in Kansas, Western Kansas. Very small community with a very big program doing very big things there. Scott, in this episode, talks about the older gentleman who left the program some money in a memorial fund. He talks about what's next for him as he heads towards retirement, and a lot more. This is a very this conversation has been one of my favorites because I realize how big of an impact a teacher can have, on a daily basis. And this guy's been doing it for almost 40 years. So that's a pretty big accomplishment for really any teacher. And I think that if you're in education, that's something you probably dream of, is making that kind of an impact over a long time. And if you want to increase your impact as a program, and you want to increase your efficiency as a program, and you want to increase your efficiency in terms of your budget, reach out to Amitrace, AMITRACE.com, and just get started. Just reach out to them, say, hey, here's what I want to do, and start the conversation. And I know without a doubt that the geniuses at Amitrace can make sure that you can do what you need to do, and they're not going to kill you on budget. It's not a package deal. You're not going to go, well, I need 2 new cameras, and they go, well, okay, well, here's a couple of cameras and a news desk. They're not going to do that. They're going to give you what you want and create something custom for you. Amitrace.com, AMITRACE.com. Now, here is the final part of my conversation with Scott Holt from Scott City, Kansas.
Teaching to the Test Pattern.
That loved watching our TV channel, because the TV channel that we got, our TV station, is another big part of what the BBN is. And he, this guy that passed away, he loved watching our kids and the things that are on our channel. And his family felt that because he did like that so much, that they gave a lot of his memorial money to us, and technology equipment and its equipment is not cheap.
Oh no.
So,
and it changes every 2 years.
Oh, I know. And that's one of those kind of things, I think people are kind of figuring out more about the TV station and the channel itself. And I think our community leaders right now are finding out how important this kind of stuff that we do here is important. I had the Chamber of Commerce executive in yesterday, and the executive director of the housing and stuff I think it's the housing. I can't even, let me see what it was. She is development committee, they were in, the mayor, they realize how important this kind of stuff can be, that how vital that this is, because our city doesn't have a TV channel. And this way we can get this out to people. Just in the couple of days, we've had some of this stuff out, in our small town of 3,800 people, we've had 1,400 views of people that have watched the COVID-19 updates that the mayor's been doing, or the financial thing that the 2 ladies that were in here yesterday did, so this TV channel has taken up a lot of my time, but it's also been a very vital part of what the BBN is too.
Yeah. And just, that's one of the things that I've kind of tried to drive home to a lot of video production educators is now is the time for you to really cement your relationship with your community leaders, because especially, I'm where I am now, there's no TV station. We're outside of the Atlanta metro, and you got to reach out to those guys and go, hey, listen, I can turn a video announcement in minutes where it would take you hours. Come on in. And, as doing that last week, we were doing that with the superintendent, and the city manager literally goes, hey, we have this TV channel we're not using. Can you use it? I'm like, well, yeah. So I made the joke when I got home that day, because my wife wasn't happy that I was gone most of the day. And I was like, hey, I got 2 gift cards and a TV channel. So it was a good day. explain kind of, what you've been doing just with the TV channel, with the COVID situation, so that other teachers may get an idea and get inspired by that.
I guess with what we've been trying to do right now, I mean, is like our TV channel is, and I'll get into the COVID stuff here in a second, but our TV channel, we just updated it. I've been running on an old computer with software that was not made for video for many years. And I finally told, the superintendent that I said, you're going to give me a little money because I haven't gotten any from you for all 7 years. I said, and we're going to put together something that, I can really do something that can make this TV channel worthwhile. Otherwise, I'm just going to shut it off because I can't do anything decent with it. And I explained to him, what I felt the necessities were and how important it could be. And he was in agreement. And then I talked to our community foundation leader, Ryan Roberts, and he said, hey, I can raise another $11,000 for you. No problem. So from the superintendent, the principal, and some money that I had in my stuff, we bought a lot of new TV equipment. And, it was about $26,000, $27,000. And so with that, we now put all our I've been putting my student projects on the TV channel and all the replays of the games and all the different stuff that we do. And that's what people would watch. But, having that playing 24/7, 365, which is what we were running, I felt that we could better, use with this new equipment. And it has made a difference. It makes it so that if I want to play a program at 6:00, I can play it at 6:00. If I want to play this second and third grade program at 4:30, I can play it at 4:30. Because before I had I could try to set it for 4:30, but if something was playing, it might play at 5:00. So people never knew. And, also then what I did was I've made it into, we're kind of a classic TV station. So I've gotten old videos and things like that. And I have geared it mainly towards our older people in the community, so they can watch our kids' programs, watch some programs they probably grew up with, like I Married Joan or some of these older shows. So it's a combination of many things, from documentaries that I got that were free to educational stuff from the National Science Foundation to kids programming, to NASA X to NASA 360 to, it's got a combination of education, entertainment, kids programming, my kids programming, and now using it as a community situation where the COVID-19 is going out and trying to do its thing. Our mayor and the community members and the council members and whoever, we've had police people, the police chief and the sheriff and everybody, they've come and talked, and we've had a lot of different ways to be able to keep our information and the information about COVID-19, get that out to the people. And, I try to let people know that it's always available for people outside the school to get some information on if you want to. It's not just for us. I want to make it and build community relations the best that I possibly can.
Gotcha. And that's super important because, in a small community like yours, the impact from your classroom can be huge. And that's a pretty cool thing. Earlier in the conversation, I teased that, it wasn't the year you had hoped for. And, you announced earlier, a couple of months ago, or maybe it was even last month, that you're retiring after 39 years in the classroom?
Yeah, 39 years.
So what's next for you? What are you going to do when this ride that is the 2020 school year is over?
Yeah, that's one of those things. People have asked me that. And at this point, I really don't have anything in mind that I'm planning on doing. I think I'm probably going to enjoy the freedom for a little bit because of the time that, the streaming and the teaching and the TV channel and everything is done. But I know I'm going to miss it for sure. I'll probably miss it the first day that I don't come back. but my mom is turning 80 in April. I plan on, she lives 900 miles away. So I plan on probably trying to get up there and spend more time up there seeing her. My uncle lives in Florida. I was really, really close to him. I don't get to see him very often. I mean, actually, the last time I saw him was, for a good amount of time was about 15 years ago. And his wife just passed away about 3 weeks ago. I'm going to do some traveling to there to see them. His son and daughter live around the area, to do that. Do a little traveling. I know some of it'll be without my wife, but sometimes that's just the way it is. And maybe something will fall into place. Maybe I'll come and work with you for a little bit, and you can use me for some free services or whatever.
Come on
I don't know. But yeah, I really don't have any plans at this point. And, maybe if there's something out there that says, hey, Scott, we'd like to try this or whatever, who knows? I mean, we'll see.
And you may not know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask anyways. What's going to happen to your program in the fall?
That's the saddest part. We do not know yet. We've got it out there advertising. And, the thing about it is it's not a bad salary. I mean, if a person isn't doing what I'm doing and double dipping, I mean, a person could actually make some good, decent money because they would give you 3 stipends. They give you 3 head coaching salaries besides your salary to come over here and teach. And, a person could make some pretty decent money doing it, but I don't know. We have not found anybody. There's a student of mine who I would have, to come into this room. There's not a kid out of college that would be able to come in and do it right now because I'd have to teach them all the different softwares and the different things we've got, how to run the TriCaster, because I think there's not, not a lot of them know how to do that, how to run the TV equipment, So I volunteered, that I would be here to consult with and do that kind of stuff. But I've got a kid that out of college that he's not quite graduated yet, so he doesn't have his degree, but he's decided that this is what he'd like to come back and do. But, they're kind of waiting on seeing if there's somebody who has got their degree yet that's wanting to do it. But I think that might be a mistake because he may find something else. And he would be great at this position, but I really hope they find something because I don't know what they're going to do. As living in Western Kansas, it's not like people are fighting to come out here into this isolated area.
So if you are looking to go to an isolated area with a small program, but you got big shoes to fill, reach out to Scott Community High School in Scott City, Kansas, and they may have a position available for you. Well, Scott, thank you so much for your time today. Again, I wanted to bring you on kind of in a celebration of your the end of your career in the video world and the education side, and kind of pick your brain a little bit about what you've been doing there, and see what ideas I could steal and go from there. So I appreciate your time a ton.
Well, thank you for having me. I like I said before, I'm not one of these big good talkers that I'm sure you probably had on your show before, but I hope I didn't bore anybody, and I hope that you have a good long career like I did, and have fun, because that's what this is all about. It's like I told my kids, what other thing can you do where you come to play every day and not work?
Yep, absolutely. And I realized that this morning. I was sitting at breakfast with my family, and I was like, man, I really miss work. I miss all my friends. So I hope I don't retire anytime soon, because I don't want that full time. So, but again, thank you so much for your time, and hope the rest of your day is fun and awesome, and you get to kind of ride out into the sunset on a pretty good high. All right. Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Teaching to the test pattern.
Again, want to thank Scott for his time. Like I said, we've probably talked for the better part of probably an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours even, just between the podcast and stuff off the air. Great guy, great conversation, a lot to give to any community, especially where he is and has been since 1981. Think about that. 1981, he began in that community, And I imagine that he is as big a fixture in that community as really anyone else. So I'm glad that I got to spend some time with him. Glad that I get to showcase Scott as he finalizes his career in the classroom. I hate it that it ended in this manner with the closures and that kind of stuff. Kansas was one of the first states to shut down all the schools, and unfortunately for Scott, that he didn't get to have his kind of last lap in the classroom, so to speak. But again, very, very thankful to Scott for his time. Very thankful to you for your time, for listening to the show. I'm in quarantine. We are in a state of lockdown, so to speak. So I have more free time. So if there's someone that you think that I should be speaking with, let me know. Hit me on Facebook. I'm not hard to find, so shoot me a message. If it's you, shoot me a message. I'm loving this. I have the time now to do it, and yeah, it's been great. And I couldn't do it without Amitrace. Those guys have made this a really cool thing for me, and they've made it really easy for me to do. And I thank those guys. Go check them out, amitrace.com. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day. And as always, let's go make some awesome.
Teaching to the test pattern.